Impressionist Claude Monet and Franz Xaver Modern Fashion Portrait. Art is considered a visual form for people to communicate and express their imagination. It's an outlet that interprets emotion, conceptual ideas, and aesthetic. The painting Sunrise Marine by Claude Monet and Portrait of Leonia by Franz Xaver incorporate the formal elements, light, line, and color, together express a range of emotions. In the 19th century, an art movement containing thin brushstrokes, unblended color, and the natural light of the atmosphere is known as Impressionism. Claude Monet is the founder of Impressionists. As critics once said, his work seems unfinished. He was born in Paris on November 14, 1890, and moved to La Hara, Normandy to become an artist. Monet came across a well-known artist, Eugene Buda, who taught him how to paint outdoors, as they called it, in plein air, in other words, in open air, which was practiced before the 1800s. Monet's famous painting, The Portal of Rouen Cathedral in Morning Light, was painted in 1892. It grew popularity. However, in 1873, an oil painting called Sunrise Marine was another remarkable work of his. The title Sunrise Marine came from Claude's hometown, known as Port-le-Harvey, where he witnesses the sunrise. As described in the Claude Monet's website, the technique is very sketchy and would have been seen as preliminary study for a painting rather than a finished work suitable for exhibition. Although the critics weren't the only ones who described Monet's work unfinished, he believed it too. The foreground consists of short, horizontal, thin lines that represent the movement of the water, whereas the background consists of streaks going in the same direction that resembles the sky. In the background, there are vertical and horizontal lines that are visible enough to see the main mast of the ships seen in the distance. Another quality Claude is known for is color scheme. Dr. Mara Gleason described the cool blue, green, and white hues dominating the landscapes are interrupted by the sunlight that radiates across the water. The use of long brush strokes with a mixture of gray, blue, orange, and white creates the misty sky. The Getty Museum mentioned Monet's often used complementary colors applied in short, visible slashes of paint to create vibrant visual effects that mimic the impression of light and atmosphere he observed in nature. Light is an important factor in an artwork because it creates shadows and highlights which artists manipulate in paintings as a form of style. Claude is also known for painting in different lighting conditions, such as the Cathedral Morning Light painting. However, in the Sunrise Marine painting, the intensity is very dull, except the sunrise reflecting off the glistening water is a lighter shade of orange, but still vibrant enough to have light coming through in that one side of the painting. Claude Monet paved the way for modern style using his techniques of light, rapid brushstrokes, and his choice of colors, leaving his studio to paint outdoors as another form of practice. Franz Xaver Winterhalter is a German painter who is well known for his royal portraits. He was born on April 20th of 1805 in Neuschwanstein. He went to Paris in 1834 where people discovered his fashionable work, specifically the royal families in France, England, and Belgium who hired him to paint their family portraits. His work incorporates his style of elegant poses and intimacy while still capturing the political climate of his clients. For example, the portrait of Leonia, Princess of Saint Wittgenstein, is well detailed from the framing to the posture. This full-length portrait is 56 inches high and 83 width, which can be found at the Getty Museum. In this painting, the elegant princess posture is interesting because it creates movement where your eye moves in a diagonal direction. Visually, Franz framed this portrait perfectly so that the rule of thirds can be seen here, which is a guideline of having your subject placed on the left side so that the space on the right side leads to more details. From every point of view leads to the princess, the way the ocean leveled to the princess' shoulder and the drapes going to the direction where Leonia is at. As far as interior design, variety of royal palaces have patterned rugs as it is seen as stunning or represent religious beliefs. In this case, it adds detail in the foreground as it's surrounded by solid colors. The Getty Museum states, Winter halter contrasted sumptuous fabric and vivid colors against creamy flesh to heighten the sensuality of the pose, the model, and the luxuriant setting. As mentioned for his fashionable tastes, majority of his portraits of women are dressed extravagant white silk dress, which is a symbol of goddess. In the background can be seen the tropical land painted during golden hour, hence the yellow clouds. The intensity of the red curtains is painted dull, as it is not the main attraction of this painting. A different source of light above the right side of Leonia highlights her forehead and nose. There are two light sources in this portrait, one being above the right side of the princess's face and the sunlight peeking through the plants in the background. The main key light in this portrait casts soft shadows on Leonia's dress. The brightness of the light bouncing off anything white is considered a fill, so that the space is not overexposed. Franz painted this portrait of Leonia on a large canvas to reveal details such as the polished pearls and the texture of the dress. His success made a big impact in the modern fashion world. Ultimately, Claude Monet and Franz Xaver experiments became an art movement in the 19th century, inspiring other artists to consider the following elements: light, line, and color at a different perspective. Thank you.